Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm working on day 3 of ByTheWell4God's The Big Picture Devotional Kit. Now this kit is for December 2022 and does have some Christmas kind of hints in the ephemera and whatnot, but you definitely don't have to work through this kit in December. You could work it through it any of the winter months or any time throughout the year, really. But today I am working on day 3, which I said, and that is all about generational promises and about how Abraham was given a covenantal promise by God, and it went from Abraham to Isaac, Isaac to Jacob, and Jacob to his 12 sons, and specifically that would be the 12 tribes of Israel, and more so the tribe of Judah, as Jesus came from that line. We read about this covenant multiple times throughout Genesis, but a couple of the verses I wanted to highlight were Genesis 12:1-3, which says, "Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Then we also have Genesis 49:10, which is specifically talking about the tribe of Judah, and it says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until tributes come to him, and to him shall be the obedience of the people." So today I still want to have a vintage kind of look to my page while still incorporating the cute little bunny and everything that this kit looks like, while still kind of going with my main style, that vintage style that I love. And so I used a paper from a House of Books as the main background. Now this paper is just like an index of all the towns and cities in the whole United States. So it's a really cool piece of paper, but I wanted it to look a little bit more brown, but also muted in the background. So that's why I used that vintage collage medium and it just spread that over. And then I also just used a nice white paint to kind of mute it a little bit, and so it wasn't kind of taking over the whole background, because I have more stuff I want to do with this background. I did have a little tear in the paper and it didn't really bug me at first, but I wanted to add more layers anyhow, and that pink of this ledger paper, that pink little line, really matched with the pink of the bunny's scarf and the library card, and so I decided to add that as another layering piece to this cluster. And now we're just going to work on putting this all together. I want a lot of texture in this, like I always do, and so I decided to stitch little snowflakes or stars, whatever you want to think of them as, in my little flashcard I have right there. And so I grabbed this kind of hot pink embroidery floss. It's a little hotter pink than I would have liked, but honestly, once it's on that card, it looks like the same exact pink that is in this kit, because it is so thin. So I just punch kind of my holes with my needle and make this little 6-pointed star looking thing in 3 places on that flashcard. Now I do have to say, I had originally typed out on that little pink library card, Abraham to Isaac, Isaac to Jacob, Jacob to his 12 sons. And I was going to use it as a layering piece under everything, and I wasn't going to worry about whether I could actually read all that or not. However, once I put it down in that cluster, it looked too busy. It was kind of pulling away from my focus of that scepter flashcard and the bunny, and so I decided to just flip it over. There was even a part of me that was not going to even have it on there at all, as you can see right here, but I did decide to, put it back in there because I really liked how it tied the other pinks with that bunny scarf and everything. So I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to this doily. This came in that tea bag set that ByTheWell4God had for sale, what was it, this past summer. And so I decided to take one of these little doilies out and use some Collage Medium along the edges and just dip it and pour some of that clear rock candy that is Tim Holtz Distress Glitter. It is some beautiful stuff. I used it in my last page, and I'll continue to use it probably throughout the rest of this kit because that's basically the only time I use it is during the Christmas season. I really wanted to do this stencil justice. Last page I did with this stencil, I used the Snowfall grit paste, which dries clear, and I really wanted this stencil to pop. This is how I originally wanted my other page to be with the background, but I forgot that the Snowfall grit paste dries clear with just a little bit of glitter. So now we're using opaque texture paste, and I will dump some of this clear rock candy glitter down on it, and I absolutely love the background. I'm not much of a glittery person, but when we think about snow, this is a perfect little combination of this texture paste with the stencil and the clear rock candy glitter. Now, whenever you're working with glitter like this in your Bible, it is a little bit tricky. Glitter or embossing powder, whatever it is, it gets messy. So I always try to dump it on a big piece of paper. I don't really show that because it gets kind of crazy and gets right up into my camera's view. But I just dump it into one big piece of paper and then funnel it back into the container. And usually I don't have too bad of a mess, but you know, there is always glitter somewhere. Like I said before, I want a lot of texture, so I grab this lace that kind of matches with that tattered rose color. I also have this special little ribbon that my friend Susan gave me at my retreat. She had found it at a thrift store, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and so I decided to finally use a little piece of it to add some texture to here. I did want to add my date stamp to the library card, even though I'm not using the side that has all those words. I want the library card to have some sort of function, and so I decided just to add my date stamp right there, and luckily it turned out fairly well. A lot of times date stamps can give me problems, so I was very happy and pleased with this. However, here is where I get a little bit of a mess up, but I end up fixing it. It ends up being okay. These doilies, though, are very, very fragile, and I didn't like the placement of mine. And so I tried taking it off eventually and moving it over, and it did work, but it also did rip. But it's okay because there was enough of the doily where I can move it over and you didn't really see that rip. I'll just gently tear it off the best I can and move it over so it's a little bit lower and more to the right hand side. After that doily has better placement, I will glue this whole cluster down in the top left hand corner of that ledger paper. That will make it slightly off center for the whole page, and that is most pleasing to the eye, not to have everything just smack dab in the center, but to work in thirds. And so this is why I decide to do this most of the time, is to have something a little off-centered. Works really well. The last thing I have to do for this page is to get this bunny down, but I don't want to just glue it onto the doily. I want it to pop up a little bit because I don't want it to blend in. It's white and the doily is white as well, and so having it pop up will really help make it stand out. I did use my foam tape from scrapbook.com. I just end up cutting a little tiny pieces out because this is a tiny bunny. So it's pretty tricky to do. I just have to make little slivers here and there. I try to cover as much as possible without any foam tape showing from the front side once I place it. And then after that, this page will be done. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I'll try to link everything I use down below in the description, and I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.